Window and Harry gonna start today. We are gonna talk about something that I think is super interesting, and that is the topic of what is broken. And we're gonna apply this to VGC. Like what is and doubles, like what is broken in like VGC and doubles. Because as you guys know, the legends from Smorgon, they made the site Pokemon Showdown, of course. And on here you can play Pokemon without spending hours on like building teams and stuff. And they also have some meta games that are like fan made, like Oyo, for example, Ubers, Little Cup, just some examples. You guys already know, of course, of course. However, they actually do something that Game Freak is too scared to do. They actually ban Pokemon. They say, you know, this Zacian thing, this shit's so broken, we're gonna ban it to triple Ubers, bro. And so they did. Because obviously Zacian is super fucking broken. Now, I don't know about Gen 9, but in Gen 8 it was banned to anything goes, both forms. Because, obviously, look at its stats, However, it's not as simple. You can't just look at a Pokemon, look at its stats and say, oh, this is broken, this is not broken. It's very more complex than this. For example, the new Houndstone, if you look at this, how is this broken? Well, I will tell you. Hold up. Quite simple. You got a move called Last Respects. This move increases by 50 in power every time a member in your party faints. So basically, you have like 300 base power if your whole team is dead, which is obviously broken. But then there are some Pokemon that aren't obviously broken, that also got banned. Let's think of an example. Oh yeah, I actually know. In Generation 6, Sableye, Mega Sableye got banned in Generation 6. Because, why? Well, this is one of the only Pokemon that got banned, even though it's not an offensive threat. I didn't play any Generation 6, but from what I understood, Magic Bounce keeping away hazards and then Sableye being able to wall like half a meta just made Stall broken because basically Stall gets up hazards and you cannot get up hazards, and then Stall just waits until you die. Like every time you switch, you lose health and Stall doesn't. And back then there weren't any heavy duty builds and stuff, which would make you immune to hazards. And obviously, if you wanna beat a Sableye, you go to a Fairy type. But when the opponent switches into their Chansey or whatever, and then you're like, oh, my special Fairy type cannot beat this Chansey, I have to switch back out. So you do, and then in turn after the opponent also switches out, and then all of a sudden your whole team is dead because they just died to the entry hazards. But obviously, like the community has been doing this shit for like almost 20 years at this point, like banning things. So what actually makes Pokemon broken in singles? Well, if you wanna find out, I will leave a link in the description for a video from Nathan Likes Chicken, where he featured Finchinator, who is OU council leader. Actually, don't know if he still is. He at that point he was like former council leader, but when recently I heard he's still OU council leader. I don't know if he's still in Gen 9. I think so. I don't know. Either way, this guy knows what he's talking about. Basically, Pokemon is broken. Well, I'm gonna sign it up real quick for singles, and then I will apply it to doubles. Basically, a Pokemon is broken if you have very limited counterplay. With Zacian, for example, only real counter is Quagsire. And now, obviously, if it wasn't for Zacian, you would not use a Quagsire in Ubers. Of course. Especially since back when it didn't even get any hazards. And fun fact, Zacian actually gets Solar Blade. Not anymore apparently, but it used to get Solar Blade, so you were able to one-shot Quagsire upon switching. You didn't even need Sun, because obviously you go Zacian on a Pokemon that's not Quagsire. You click Solar Blade, Quagsire switches in, most likely takes hazards, then the opponent has to switch out again to take the Solar Blade, but then you can just go for another Behemoth Blade. So, obviously Zacian, super fucking broken, that's why I banned it. You only have a few options to counter Zacian, that's why I banned it. With Houndstone, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I think. I don't know. I honestly, the meta hasn't really been developed this much. I think by Houndstone, I think it's more so that remove is just so powerful. You really cannot use like any like yeah, it's just broken outright because it's like super powerful. But with Sableye, I've already explained why this guy got banned. The only way to actually set up stealth rocks was if you used something like a Mold Breaker, Extreme or Dragon, because then you can ignore the magic bounce. And then the opponents still most likely were able to default with like the Skami or whatever. So that's the basic idea. Basically, if you have to put in specific counters to the Pokemon, but the amount of counters is very limited, when the Pokemon is broken. So if you look at a Pokemon that's not broken, for example, in singles, let's use something that's not broken in singles. Let's say Azumarill. I don't think anyone thinks Azumarill is broken, even though it's clearly super powerful. Belly Drum, Aqua Jet with priority. Who? Aqua Jet with priority. Stab, Play Rough. Also a decent speed here. I mean, 50 is not good, but it's faster than Pokemon like Chansey and stuff. Maybe even Corviknight if you invest a bit into speed. Yeah, if you like invest a bit, Corviknight is like 170. Like, look, already you have speed cap for Corviknight and you still like get a super amount of bulk. Why isn't Azumarill broken? Well, first of all, you can beat Azumarill even when you don't have specific counters for Azumarill. For example, you are able to hit Azumarill and do 50% or even more damage with a Pokemon that's not a counter to Azumarill. For example, Corviknight could just Brave Bird Azumarill and already it would take super amounts of chip. But when also you get Pokemon like Rillaboom, which are obviously a counter, other grass types like Amoonguss is a hard counter, for example. All of these grass type check Azumarill. However, there are also other options, like, let me think. Like Pokemon that can just take one hit, for example, Galarian Slowking, I'm pretty sure it takes one hit and can knock it out. And also there are faster Pokemon like Garchomp that you are forced to Aqua Jet, and I don't think Plastic's Aqua Jet kills Garchomp, and then Quake plus Rough Skin and maybe even Rocky Helmet will put you in range of dying later anyways. So this is basically what makes Pokemon broken or not broken in singles. And if we apply this to doubles, let's see, can I go to Gen 8? Oh yeah. If we put in Zacian was clearly broken, of course. How do you beat Zacian? Well, you can intimidate it with something like Incineroar, Landorus. You can use faster fire types like Colossal. When the steam engine is activated, you can use Pokemon like Gastrodon to stall it out. You already see the list is quite long and it gets even longer. But how is Zacian still broken then? Well, as you guys know, in double battles, there actually are two Pokemon on the field at the same time. I don't know if you knew this. I mean, if you're watching this channel, you're probably super smart, so I guess you did already know that in doubles, you actually use two Pokemon at the same time. And the issue is, like, I still remember in Series 8, I used Pokemon like, I don't even know its English name, bro. Fuck, what's it called? Um, Heatmore. I literally used Heatmore, like a whole Heatmore team, with like, uh, the whole team was like built around Heatmore, because back in the day, people just use their restricted Pokemon, and then that's pretty much like, and then they built their team around it. Obviously, people still do this. However, it took a while to make people realize how to pair up these restricted Pokemon with Pokemon that actually counter the restricted Pokemon is counter. So, for example, Zacian versus Heatmore. Obviously, I just cook Zacian with Heatmore, and pretty good. However, obviously people started to adapt. They started to put like Kyogre next to Zacian, for example. They started to put they started to put Fantabuses next to their Kyogres in order to beat Willabooms, you know? And this is where checking these broken Pokemon became really difficult. I think the peak was definitely Zacian Kyogre. I mean, not very controversial, but this core is just super broken, you know? However, Zacian Kyogre at Worlds, it fell super off. It's not even the first time it happened. I think in Kangaskhan, I don't know, I didn't play back in the day, but like there was the World Championships where Kangaskhan dominated the whole format, but then people just came super prepared for Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan didn't even have the whole one in the whole tournament, you know. However, Zacian and Kyogre, obviously the perfect combination. Kyogre beats all the ground fire types that Zacian is weak to, and Zacian can beat all the grass type and even electric types that Kyogre is weak to. And well, what did we see happen? Gastrodon won Worlds. Literally, the only good counter to Zacian Ogre. Actually made a whole video about how to counter Zacian Ogre without Gastrodon. And I have to say, when I look back at this video, like while the format was super developed, I have to say, most of these Pokemon weren't as good as I hoped. You know? I mean, I didn't overhype them or anything. I just like you should just use Gastrodon if you want to counter Zacian Ogre, you know? And the problem is, the meta gets way too centralized, you know? It's not anymore about using Pokemon that are good or that are fun. It's more so about using Pokemon that can counter the meta. And even meta teams counter meta. Like that's literally every team does this, you know. That's the whole point why you even use meta teams. Meta teams do the best into meta teams. That's why they are or meta. That's why they are meta, you know. And the issue is when a format becomes this centralizing, you get usage stats like, let's see, pick when you have a centralized format, you see shit like, oh, wait, this is for singles. Hey, this is gonna be a good example for later. Um, can I? Alright. So if we now go to Series 12, you guys already know. Wait, 80% Incineroar. It went up by 10% after the World Championships. Bro, 80% Incineroar, almost 70% Zacian. Kyogre fell off super hard. And then like Grimmsnarl, Charizard. Like, this is what a centralized meta looks like. The whole meta is around Incineroar. Can you beat Incineroar? Or can you not? Zacian, best Pokemon in the format, even though it gets checked by Incineroar. Like, right here, you don't see any Pokemon that can actually beat Incineroar. I would argue even Kyogre cannot really beat Incineroar because you just go Groudon and Parting Shot and then you kill Kyogre next turn with whatever comes in, you know? Incineroar, super fucking broken. However, there are loads of Pokemon that actually can counter Incineroar. So, you know, this is basically my answer to the question, what makes Pokemon broken? I absolutely 100% agree with the fact that what makes Pokemon broken is the fact that there are limited counters. However, I would like to add this for VGC. It also is about the Pokemon that get invalidated by Incineroar. Because Incineroar invalidates, I would say, like half of the Pokemon out there. Because you just get intimidated, you cannot touch Incineroar. Back in Series 11, you guys you guys may remember my top 10 team. Where is it? Right here. The Eternals or something. I don't know, didn't watch it. Still didn't. I tried to watch it on a very legal website, and yeah, I didn't continue. However, look at this team. This guy can coach up to get rid of Incineroar's Intimidate. This guy literally profits off Incineroar, gets a Defying boost. Incineroar gets walled by this guy, Dynamax Cannon does like half. Excadrill gets intimidated, which stinks, but this is obviously where we get the coaching off, and also we are weakness policy. because we want to Dynamax boost our defense and then have Incineroar proc our weakness policy. Urshifu, literally a choice band and fighting type. It's still crazy bad. And Whimsicott is the only Pokemon who actually loses to Incineroar. Literally 5 of my Pokemon are there because they don't really care about Incineroar. No, that's not even true. For example, Blaziken cannot touch Incineroar, loses 1v1. Thunderous, I mean, that's actually really good. This guy does not like to get faked out. This guy does not like to get parting shotted. This guy does not like to get intimidated or parting shotted either. This guy is most likely gonna be locked into Wicked Blow, which Incineroar resists, and this guy absolutely hates Incineroar, you know? It's crazy to see how big of an impact Incineroar got. Like, this is literally like my best team, you know? And my second best team, you guys probably also know. My crazy Carly team, where is it? Hope I even have this on the PC. Because like on PC I only have the teams that I do videos on pretty much. Because I prefer to play on my phone. Like in like yeah, when I'm not on my PC at the moment. Yeah, I cannot seem to find the team. Basically, I used Modest Choice Specs Cardigan Shadow, which obviously Incineroar beats. However, I also got Defiant Thunderous and also Oblivious Mamoswine, which also ignores Intimidate, to lure in Incineroar, get the chip that I want on Incineroar in order for Astral Rush to knock it out. Actually lost my run because the last opponent that I had just barely he knew what he was coming, you know. I'm pretty sure there was word spreading about my choice base Modest Cardiacs. So he knew what was coming and he positioned himself perfectly around it. And obviously, if you look at the World Championships, Cardiac Shadow won the World Championships, which literally hard loses to Incineroar. However, we did not see an offensive Cardiac Shadow, which Cardiac Shadow got 150 let's pull this up. 150 base special attack. No wait, 165 special attack, 150 speed. And the man who won, congrats by the way, huge congrats, didn't even use an offensive set. He used fucking Focus Sash, like obviously Astro, and then Snarl, Will-O-Wisp. This is what Incineroar does to the meta, bro. It is crazy to see a Pokemon like this not use an offensive set because the number one Pokemon is so good. Like, look at all these Pokemon. Like, okay, actually, Grimmsnarl and Groudon kinda beat Cardiac Shadow as well. Because of screens and Assault Vest, you don't take shit, so it makes sense. However, Zacian takes like 50 from Astro. Charizard, if you are specs, like takes 50 from Astro. Gastrodon not to counter Rillaboom. Well, it can also counter Cardiac Shadow. Kyogre, again with screens and shit, yeah. I mean, I would also argue that Grimmsnarl is super broken. I think I'm gonna talk about this later, but yeah, so those are the two things that make Pokemon broken. First of all, there are not a lot of counters to this Pokemon. For example, if Incineroar didn't exist and Grimmsnarl didn't exist, how do you beat Cardiac's Shadow? Okay, with Yveltal, sure. But let's say all of these dark types didn't exist, you know. Let's say it's Generation 1 and all of a sudden Cardiac's Shadow gets introduced. There's no counterplay. I mean, yeah. And also, another thing that makes Pokemon broken, in my opinion, is that it invalidates Pokemon. However, let's talk about Grimmsnarl right now. Grimmsnarl is obviously just a support Pokemon. Light Screen, Reflect. I mean, if you played any Sword and Shield VGC or watched any Sword and Shield VGC, you have seen Grimmsnarl. Fun fact, I was actually one of the first guys to use Grimmsnarl with Light Screen and Reflect. I was also, fun fact, one of the first people to actually use Incineroar and Rillaboom. Crazy in hindsight. Dude, crazy. To think about how literally I was the guy who put them up. Obviously not, obviously I didn't like make Grimmsnarl or whatever, but like I was one of the first guys to use them before they were popular. So guys, if you wanna see popular strategies Before they become popular, make sure to subscribe and also leave a like for more competitive analysis like this. So what made Grimsnarl broken? Obviously its ability to set up screens. However, it didn't stop there. It also gets super good speed control in form of Thunderwave isn't super good speed control, but actually in Trick, Lagging Tail, Iron Ball, in form of Scary Face. Obviously most people just use Thunderwave because they like to fully paralyze things, but I mean, hey, you can't argue with the results, you know. So why is Grimmsnarl broken? Grimmsnarl is just a support Pokemon. How could support Pokemon be broken? Well, if you let there are loads of support Pokemon that aren't broken. For example, what's a support Pokemon that isn't broken? Jigglypuff. You know? Why is Jigglypuff not broken? Obviously because of the stats, you know, but outside of like fake tears, fake tears, like helping hand and stuff like this, and like heal pulse, I guess. It doesn't really do anything. So you can basically ignore the Jigglypuff and just hit its partners. And Jigglypuff's support, even with the Friend Guard ability, will not be enough to fully support its partner Pokemon. What you also could do is you could just knock out the Jigglypuff relatively easily, and then the partner Pokemon doesn't get the support that it wants. However, with Grimmsnarl, none of these things apply. Grimmsnarl is incredibly difficult to knock out. Even if you lead something like Zacian into a Grimmsnarl and knock it out, it's very likely that your Grimmsnarl, or sorry, that your Zacian will get knocked out as a result of Zacian going for Grimmsnarl. And if you really want to be safe, you literally just lead Incineroar and Grimmsnarl. You just fake out, go for screens, and all of a sudden Bohemian Blade does like 40%. And that's all if Grimmsnarl doesn't have a Baby. But that's not even it. Even if you knock out Grimmsnarl's partners, Grimmsnarl will just set up screens and then go for stuff like scary faces, and you oftentimes don't even know what moves it gets because it gets so many good moves, like fake out, now gets parting shot, like you know, trick, thunder wave, fake tears, scary face, sometimes even went foul play or sucker punch, uh, taunt, of course. Burn and jealousy is the big one as well, but you see this more on Incineroar. Choose some swagger, Grimmsnarl as well, you know. So basically, you have to pick and choose. What do you want to do? Do you want to hit Grimmsnarl? Do you want to hit a partner? And whatever you do, you chose wrong. You know, that's why Grimmsnarl is broken. So, why is this even an issue? Just use broken Pokemon. Okay, I hear you. I fully understand this, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. However, it's not the way I like to play. If you look at this meta, if you look at this meta, there are like 10, maybe 20 Pokemon to choose from if you want to build a team. Which, go ahead, do it, you know. However, let's go to, do we have doubles OU? Yeah, doubles OU. Here, you got like so many Pokemon to choose from. It's crazy. Look, the most used Pokemon, this is actually my first time looking at this, 23%, 83%. If we go down, like all the way, I don't know why this isn't working. If we go down, like all the way, right here. Bro, why isn't this working? I don't know. You will see things like the bush with like 3%. Bro, if we go down right here, look how quickly it goes under. Like, bro, Shedinja has like 4% usage. People are actually like someone used Rocky Helmet Zapdos just to deal with Shedinja, bro. And like that one only got 3% usage. You don't see anyone preparing for fucking Brambagast or whatever. And to show you even further, well, I just need to go to my channel. Oh wait, wrong channel. Whoops. So as you can see on my channel, for doubles OU, I literally just use Pokemon but I think look cool. That's literally how I did it. And they actually got to top 30 on Showdown with this team. I will show you replay later. However, if you compare this to Series 12, I used this team from my homie Randstreifen the Hacker. Insane team. But this team literally took him months, and by months I mean many months, like 3 months of pure testing to build a team that doesn't feature any fucking broken ass bitches, you know? Like that is insane. And obviously there's nothing wrong with using standard stuff, you know? And I know it's difficult to build creative teams. I mean, you guys can see. Like this shit, I didn't even know that half of these Pokemon are like super standard, you know? I mean, I don't think a rank rule, the Salt Guy and Scizor are, but I mean, yeah, I just think it is not fun to play in these broken formats. This is why I stopped uploading for like, I don't know how long, back in Series 12. Dude, Series 13 was so fun as well, until the meta became way too centralized as well. Because people just stopped using the Mythicals, because why would they? Mythicals were bad, you know? Where is it? Right here. Hydreigon is crazy. 6 months ago. Oh, wait. Was this when where did I stop? Oh, yeah, here. My graceful return. Question mark. I didn't actually plan to return, but like. Oh, I guess it just was a month where it wasn't very interesting. Well, who cares? I personally think it is way more fun to actually be creative with team building. I think it is way more fun to actually use your favorite Pokemon. And even from Game Freak's perspective, it is the best thing that can happen. You remember when Pachirisu won the World Championships? Obviously you do. Even if you never played Pokemon in life, this is probably the thing that you know about World Championships. I mean, I've never went to a World Championship or any tournament ever, you know, and I know this kind of stuff, you know. This watch was super good for marketing for Game Freak, you know. It was the best thing that could happen to Game Freak marketing wise, because that was a huge positive thing that happened in competitive Pokemon, which they obviously want you to play looking at the games, you know. So obviously it is way better for Game Freak to introduce this to make it so there are no broken Pokemon. However, they also want you to buy the DLC which contains Calyrex Shadow, Calyrex Ice, and whatever, because they just want to make short-term money and they don't actually want to sell high-quality products with love put into them. They just want to put out games every 10 months or whatever. You know, that's their business model. It's not my business model. I mean, I'm not a businessman, as you guys know. Luckily, I got rich parents, so nah, I'm joking. But I mean, yeah. However, what they did in this generation, they added so many broken fucking Pokemon. Flutter Mane, bro. Look at this shit. 135 special attack, 135 speed, and you get a free speed boost in Sun with your ability. Brood Bonnet. Oh wait, that's the wrong guy. Roaring Moon. And Brood Bonnet literally Amogus, which is already busted. Give this man Stab Sucker Punch. Don't know why it doesn't get. Oh yeah, this is Gen 8. Whoops. Give this guy Stab Sucker Punch. 127 attack. 3 attack boost in Sun. Again, you guys can see in this video and this video too. Oh. Well, tough. Just got a message. Whoopsie. Who cares? Good Bonnet. Crazy. Next up, Roaring Moon. Obviously fucking insane. 139 attack. Again, you get a free attack boost. Not really good defense, but like who cares? Just intimidate the opponent, you know. They added so many broken ass Pokemon. They literally added a Pokemon which gives you permanent intimidate as long as you're on the field, which is absolutely fucking insane. Oh wait, I'm doing this in the wrong format. Permanent intimidate. Where is he? It only lowers the stats by 25%. So this guy is like the special version of intimidate, and then the snail is the like physical intimidate. Obviously, that shit's like super fucking broken, you know. And I haven't even like seen this guy being used, funnily enough, but like This is like the wet dream of every salty sweater, you know? Like, oh my god. Now I can click protect substitute and also fake out party shot and fake out ult on every other turn. And actually I can say that this is actually big brain and optimal and positioning, when it's clearly just you follow your spreadsheet someone else made, bro. But that's a whole nother topic. However, hope you guys understood this. If not, make sure to leave a comment. But like, come on, bro. Why do they add this Pokemon, broken Pokemon? However, now we actually come to the reason why I actually made this video. And this is right now in doubles. I don't think any Pokemon is broken. I mean, I already showed you guys that I don't think like the comparison. Like, look at this 23%, 83%. Obviously, there's like a huge fucking difference, you know. The data backs me up. And also, if you look at my teams, like I said, and literally, like you guys, if you guys don't believe me, just watch my videos, bro. Like this is a big advice to like every sort of sweater, bro. Just watch my videos. Nah, but like I don't know. I feel like sometimes you can just tell when people don't watch my videos. Like when they make movesets, guys, and they don't even weak armor weakness policy, or they include weak armor weakness policy, or they don't even include like choice specs on the only expanding force Pokemon. I mean, no offense, again, no offense to anyone, but like, come on, bro. Just test the Pokemon before you make a fucking video on it. But that's fine. That's another topic. I don't want to hate it, you know. I really don't. Again, now let's get to this battle, which got me to top 30. Again, I literally just used Pokemon that I think look fun, and I also only used like strats that I also would use in VGC, so like no stealth rocks and shit, you know? And like, I just can keep this running in the background. You guys can see for yourself. You guys are not blind, but like, I literally completely and utterly, I hope that's the correct replay, by the way. Yeah, it is. I completely and utterly demolished this guy with Gargantuar, with which I think, let's pause this real quick. Let's look how the usage stats of Gargantuar are. Gar 4.85%. That's actually more than I expected, honestly. Also, my last video I used like Gardevoir and what's he called? Servolage. Oh, my video before that, Servolage. Also quite a lot of usage interesting. However, like this is literally, like I said, I got to the top 30. And spoiler, this is like a 6-0. And like, look, Rangu was super carried. Look, I'm gonna be able to, right here, I just recover, because obviously now when I'm a fighting type, I'm not weak to this anymore. And now I'm able to recover, set up Trick Room with my Orangu. Like, Orangu hard carried. And now, look at this. I go for Iron Defense. And now I go for Instruct to get another Iron Defense. Bro, Orangu carrying. How much usage does Orangu have? 2.7 whatever. I mean, obviously that doesn't mean like it's crazy or whatever, but like, look at this shit, you know? This is insane. You would not see this kind of shit in Series 12. Like in Series 12, if you like use one bad Pokemon, you're kind of screwed. I'm out here using like 3 bad Pokemon, you know? It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like this shit is so fun. It's like so much more fun than Series 12. And you know what the craziest thing is? I have never looked at the usage stats. I have never looked at these usage stats when I got to top 30. I cannot tell you a single good core except for the Dodonzo one that the opponent used. And I never prepared for this. I never prepared for this core, by the way. You know, like before, you had to every time you build a team, you had to look at the usage stats. You had to be like, oh shit, I need to have 5 Pokemon that can hit Incineroar. I need like 3 Pokemon that can switch into Zacian. I need like a Pokemon that can fake out Grimmsnarl, a Pokemon that can change the sun. I need a Pokemon that can deal with Charizard, you know? And then you have to prepare for combinations, like what if the opponent needs Gordon Charizard? What if the opponent needs Incineroar Grimmsnarl? What if the opponent needs Kali has Shadow Thunderous. And you had to prepare for all of these things. Because this is what a centralized meta looks like. The whole meta is built around like one or two Pokemon, and then the things that can beat these one or two Pokemon. And depending on how centralized the meta is, even on the things that beat the things that beat the things, you know. However, in this, like I said, I have not looked at the user stats. I cannot tell you a single core, except for Fluttermane plus this guy, by the way, this one other core. However, I literally did not prepare for anything in team building. You guys saw in my video where I built this team, how I did it. I literally just picked Pokemon that I thought looked cool, and then I also put Pokemon in that I thought have good synergy. And like I said, I got to top 30 without like lots of issues. Unfortunately, I didn't record the last games, but that's fine, you know. I got the replays saved, so feel free to ask me for the replays and stuff, you know, if you wanna see them. Like this is insane. This is something that does not happen in centralized formats. This is something something that does not happen in a dude. I have to drink something. My voice is gone, bro. Who cares? This is something that does not happen in Series 12, bro. This is something that's truly beautiful. That's truly fun. Hats off to everyone at Game Freak. They accidentally managed to not introduce any broken Pokemon. I'm most likely gonna look back at this video in like a few weeks and cringe super hard because people will have realized how to abuse these broken strategies. For example, with Dodonzo Core. Don't think it's broken. Again, I have never prepared for this specifically in my team builder. However, there are so many things that beat it. So if you wanna beat it, you can always go Haste Mercury, for example, which is an idea from Zach, really smart, by the way. However, and there are other things like Whirlwind. However, you don't even have to specifically do these things because Dononzo already loses to things like Trick Room, to things like Spore, to things like the actual setting up to +6 because of a correct terrestrialize and Trick Room setup as well, you know? Like, this is crazy, bro. You know? Like, this is so fun. I cannot wait for the DLC where they will add Urshifu, Regieleki, and all the other Gen 8 legendaries. However, we will wait. We will wait. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your opinion on what is broken and what not, and obviously, most importantly, the reason why. And then, yeah, let's look back at this video in like half a year from now and let's go super cringe. Everything is actually broken. I was so wrong. Or let's go down the good old times, bro. Or let's go down. I'm still correct. I don't know. Either way, hau da rein. Ciao.